Welcome to GameSpot Live. I'm Giancarlo Varanini here with Gerstmann, who is rocking the Xbox Live headset. We're here today to talk a little bit about Microsoft's upcoming online service, kind of like what our expectations were of the service, the launch itself, and sort of what the future has in store for Xbox Live. So, I mean, what were you thinking when Microsoft first announced the service?
Well, I mean, Microsoft's whole plan from the get-go has been, we're the only broadband-enabled console. So they've been talking a good game about online gaming now for pretty much the whole year the console's been out. Mm-hmm. And, it's good to kind of finally see this thing come out. They've been talking big for months, and now it's finally time for them to really deliver on those promises they've made.
To be honest, I kind of had my doubts about the whole thing. I mean, the broadband only seemed like a problem initially just because, not that many people actually have broadband to begin with. Just it hasn't gotten to a point where, there's enough people that have broadband where these games could be, entertaining enough. There's always a lot of people. But, having played the games over the beta and, playing NBA 2K3, NFL 2K3, a bunch of other games, I've actually been really surprised by how it's turned out.
Yeah, it's turned out really well. I mean, I think pretty much just about every, experience I've had with it has been pretty positive. There was some worry there about, do enough people have broadband, but I'm not worried about other people. I'm worried about me, and I got me some broadband, so whatever, I can play it, and there's plenty of beta testers that have been playing it, and pretty soon the whole world will be playing it.
Yeah, and too, one of the things I thought was kind of, retarded about Xbox Live was the voice communication. I mean, honestly, I didn't think it was going to be something that was really going to be taken advantage of by people, and to a certain extent it hasn't. I mean, when you play these games online, there's some people that are just completely quiet. I mean, they won't say a word, but there's some people that will chime in with an occasional comment, will say "aw dang" or something like that.
Yeah, every time you score on them, just get a little "aw dang" in there. But I think that's going to be a problem with some one-on-one games, because then it's just kind of creepy one-on-one chat with another person. But games like Mech Assault, you have 8 players in there, and pretty much every time I've played that in a full game, it's just been people yelling back and forth, and a whole lot of cursing. But that's going to be a problem. There's no filtering in there, so it's pretty much open season on whatever people want to fill your heads with throughout your little headset thinger.
Yeah, obviously, too, the voice communication, the voice masking is also kind of a big feature. You change your voice to sound like a robot.
It's cool. I'm all for sounding like a robot, but every time I've actually used the voice masking, there's basically 2 voice masks that work. And if you're out there and you get Xbox Live and you use any of the ones other than these 2, you're going to get muted. I'm just going to warn you right now. There's like the big guy voice and the anonymous voice. Both aren't really a big change over the regular voice. But it's like robot voice, the little kid voice, all that stuff. I can't even understand what the hell people are saying when they got that stuff on. And it's just squeaky, annoying. I love robots. I think people should talk like robots in real life. But the fidelity of the voice, being transferred throughout the headset just isn't high enough to understand what the hell people are saying.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's kind of funny to go into a game where, you've got people killing each other, like Unreal Championship or something, and just have a guy have like a helium voice. It's like, it's an interesting contrast. Like, it's funny sometimes, but I can get.
It's a cool option, but that was one of the things with Mech Assault is you got 8 people, they're all talking at once. And, it's kind of hard to understand when everyone's talking at the same time anyway. But, if you've got helium voice guy and they're going, "Cover my flank," it's just like, man, shut up.
That sort of brings up an interesting problem that will come down the line for games like Phantasy Star Online Episode 1 and 2, where they have lobbies and you have all these people in them. I mean, will people be able to speak all at once, or it'll be interesting to see how they handle that.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of games are doing it differently. If you look at a game like MotoGP, you can basically hear 4 players at any given time. You choose one, and including yourself, you go for. You'll choose one, and then the other 2 will be the 2 nearest bikes. So there's a lot of interesting things that the companies are going to do to handle that. And I wouldn't be surprised in the case of PSO, they just might just take the lobbies out. I mean, none of the other Xbox Live games really have chat room lobbies of any kind. And some people can perceive that as a problem. I personally have been less about the social aspect of gaming. I just want to get in there and play, and if people want to talk during the game, that's fine. And I think the Xbox Live setup with the quick match, the Opta match, is a really strong way to go about doing it.
So what do you think about the subscription fee, $50 for a full year? Microsoft really hasn't disclosed, what's going to happen after that year is over, if they're going to do a monthly thing, but...
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it sounds like they're going to offer a few different ways to pay if you want to go monthly, if you want to go another whole year or something. I wouldn't be surprised if they kept it at $50 a year, just indefinitely, because otherwise, why wouldn't you just go out and buy another starter kit and get another year of service?
Right, that's true.
Unless your gamer tag and your friends list is really that important to you, you're probably never going to have to pay more than $50 a year.
Let's talk a little bit about some of the launch titles. There's Unreal Championship, Mech Assault, Ghost Recon, MotoGP, and WAC come with the Xbox Live starter kit.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good balance, I think. I think they've got a nice, healthy mix of games.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is something that will kind of appeal to multiple age groups. You've got WAC'd for the younger set, and then you move up to games like Mech Assault and Unreal. I mean, Mech Assault's kind of like the T-rated, little robots shooting other robots game, and then there's Unreal Championship, which is the full-on first-person shooter experience, similar to what you get on a PC. They cover a lot of ground, and all the games seem really strong so far.
And obviously the sports games play a big role. I mean, a lot of the sports games have already have Xbox Live support in them, so people have just been sort of waiting. So
yeah, so that's NHL 2K3 when that comes out, and then there's NBA 2K3, NFL 2K3, and NFL Fever.
Right.
Are the four, right? Yeah, I mean that's a pretty wide lineup. I mean, Sega's sports games are all really strong, so having Xbox Live support definitely won't hurt.
And down the line, games will have downloadable content. Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell has an entire mission that you can download. ToeJam and Earl has some downloadable content, even though we all know about ToeJam and Earl.
Yeah, I don't know if you'd really want to spend time downloading anything to add to ToeJam and Earl, but yeah, Splinter Cell, a whole new mission. Mech Assault will actually have new maps, new mechs, and probably even new gameplay types somewhere down the line. And MX Superfly will have some downloadable content as well.
As far as the future of the service goes, we've talked to Microsoft, and they said they have plans to have the service evolve. They've been in meetings with developers, already talking about different ideas that they can bring to Xbox Live. One of them is having, online franchise play for sports games. And
that'd be big for sports games.
Yeah, it seems to me like the service has a lot of potential, partly because of the broadband that the developers can kind of take it in different directions.
Yeah, I mean, I even see, there's a lot of things they could do just kind of on just the basic server side. I mean, they already have the friends list concept, which will let you kind of, find people regardless of what game they're playing. If you want to find a friend and challenge him to a game of Mech Assault and he's playing hockey, you can say, quit that crap, let's go blow these people up. And you can jump out of games and things like that. But they could do a lot. They could do like almost like a voicemail service or something. If they're not going to issue a keyboard, I need to be able to communicate with people, especially if I'm going to be one of these people that are like heavy into a clan. If I'm in some Ghost Recon clan and there's no way to communicate via Xbox Live, then people are going to have to exchange email addresses, and then you're talking mid-game, okay, email me at this address, and that doesn't seem like a really viable thing. I think they could expand a lot in that department.
As far as the future is concerned, Microsoft has a lot of big games planned for Xbox Live. I mean, there's Halo 2, there's a lot of stuff coming.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really get any bigger than Halo 2, but it seems like that Microsoft's done a pretty good job at wooing the right developers to make sure that the right games do have Xbox Live support. I mean, Sega's sports games are really strong, and those being online year after year would definitely be a big win for Xbox fans. So in conclusion, Xbox Live is a pretty strong service. We found it easy to set up on all of our various network configurations. I have a static IP at home. We've configured it to use PPPoE connections and our Ethernet here at the office without any problems at all. We've run it through routers. We've put it through some pretty rigorous testing, and it's passed with flying colors. I play on a DSL connection, and I kind of taxed the PC side of the connection to see if Mech Assault would lag, and got a little jumpy here and there, but even then it was still pretty much smooth. I haven't really witnessed any lag problems with any of the games.
Yeah, I really haven't had any substantial problems with it either. There was I had a little bit of initial difficulty setting it up at home, but really that was just more a problem on my end. I mean, it wasn't a problem with the service itself, but yeah, I mean, the service is great. I've really been surprised, and I think that, certainly $50 is a good investment towards the service.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's the sort of thing where if you have broadband service and you have an Xbox, it's definitely a must-own thing. even if none of the games right off the bat really do it for you. You know, if you're not a big sports fan, you know, there's going to be Mech Assault, there's going to be Unreal Championship. But just the promises further down the road even, you know, make a lot of sense to just kind of get in, you know, as soon as you can.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Go get it.